Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Scott Atwell, president of the Florida State University Alumni Association. On autumn Saturdays through this tunnel, a great champion enters the arena. Osceola and Renegade. This past summer, ESPN proclaimed this very young Florida State tradition as the greatest tradition in all of college sports. A remarkable accomplishment for a program that is barely 30 years old. Recently, I had the chance to sit down and speak with the undergraduate who this year is proudly playing the role of Osceola. His name, Drake Anderson. Drake, there's a lot of excitement about this designation as the greatest tradition in college sports, but everyone involved with the program seems to downplay it. Why is that?
With the attention from the media and fans and things of that nature, we tend to try to keep the focus on the program itself. What we're trying to convey and what we're trying to represent is the Seminole Nation, the unconquered spirit of the Indians and the tribe there. And so we try to not bring any attention to ourselves and just we come there, we do our job, and we go home. You know, it's not broadcast, it's not put on banners anywhere. You know, we try to keep it simple and we try to do it in a respectful manner, and we just appreciate that the fans got behind us the way that they did, but we just try to keep the attention on what we try to accomplish, and that is just represent a great tribe.
Well, there's a lot of pressure and responsibility in what you do. When do you get the chance to enjoy it?
I enjoy it on a daily basis. I grew up riding horses, so for me to just get a chance to come to a great school like FSU and have a chance to ride horses and have it be a part of my daily routine is just amazing for me. And on the game day, you know, I enjoy everything there is about all the work, anything that goes into it. It's a joy for me to be part of the program, be a part of the heritage. So I enjoy everything about it.
Well, I almost get the sense that you're almost like the athletes on the field. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of preparation, but game day is what it's all about.
I feel like it sometimes, yes, sir. There's a lot of practice, a lot of sweat, and some blood that goes into it, but everything is worthwhile on those 6 or 7 home games. So it's everything about the program, from riding horses on a daily basis to cleaning stalls to washing horses to anything like that. It's just part of the program. It's part of what goes into this great tradition.
Well, how does the experience of being Osceola compare to the expectations you had going in?
It never ceases to exceed my expectations. I grew up not familiar with a lot of the FSU traditions. I knew Bobby Bowden and the team of sorts, but I was not a huge college football follower. So coming into this, did not know what I was getting into. Actually, Mr. Allen approached me when we first contacted each other, and told me a little bit about the program. You know, how'd you like to come ride a horse and plant a spear in the middle of the field? Oh, and it's on fire too. So I was like, that sounds cool. You know, I think I could do that. So it still astounds me on a daily basis how important, how honorable it is to be part of this tradition. How much it's a bigger thing than myself or any of us on the team could imagine. You know, it's a Seminole tribe take great pride in what we do. They're behind us. And just for us to be able to continue to do that for our 34th season this year is just amazing.
Tell us about the process of how you became Osceola.
I grew up riding horses. Started about 10 or 11 years old. I started riding cutting horses first, which is an event where you pick a cow out of a herd and keep it from going back to the herd. Moved on to team roping. So I've been equestrian for some time now. Mr. Allen contacted my boss, or my instructor in team roping, my mentor, Terry Dennard, back in Alabama, and he has a lot to do with the High School Rodeo Association there in Alabama. And so Mr. Allen contacted them looking for someone because there are certain qualifications with grades and of course your questionability and upstanding kind of person. And so my mentor, Mr. Terry, got contacted by Allen, and he said, well, I have this gentleman, Drake, and so Allen and I got introduced on the phone, And over a series of phone calls, we kind of coordinated a time where he could come up and watch me ride. He drove up to Alabama, and I rode a couple horses there at the barn that I was riding. And after he saw that my equestrian abilities were up to par, he gave me a book called Light a Distant Fire. It was an autobiographical book about Osceola and the Seminole Wars and things that went on with that, and because I was unfamiliar with it at that time. And I read that book, and he wanted me to write a paper about what it meant to me to represent Osceola. And so at that time, like I said earlier, I wrote something, put something together from the book and the little understanding that I had, but it's still, to this day, it sinks in how much of an honor it is for me to be here. And after that, I came down for the spring game of '09, and Mr. Allen, I got a chance to watch Chris Gannon, the previous rider, kind of run through the ordeal there at the spring game in '09 and see how it was put together and all that kind of stuff. And Mr. Allen offered me the position on that weekend.
Well, tell me a little bit about Drake Anderson. Who is he?
Drake Anderson. I am a junior here at FSU now. My major is business. I think I'm going to go into marketing. And grew up in a small town in Alabama called Jemison, Alabama. I had 2 red lights, a McDonald's, and a Piggly Wiggly. That's about all there was to the Jemison. I graduated with 110 people in my high school graduation class, and I have been riding horses since I was 10, and that's all I've ever wanted to do is ride horses and be a cowboy. So that's what I did throughout my high school career. I played football and rodeoed.
Now, you're very tall. How does that play into your riding ability? Is it an advantage?
In this type of riding, it is a good advantage. Being tall, my legs are very long, so I actually have a lot of leverage around the horse. I can wrap my legs around his body easier than some people can. So for some types of riding, it may be more difficult. At this type of riding, it actually is an advantage.
When you look back on this experience, what do you think you'll appreciate most?
I think I'll appreciate the discipline it's given me. I ride a lot. The horses are stationed about an hour outside of town for security reasons, and so during the summer I ride between 3 and 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week. And then during the fall, I'm up there at the farm 2 or 3 times during the week, and then on the weekends also. So it's a large time commitment. I think it's instrumental for my future going on, just to be able to know how to manage time, how to get everything done with the schoolwork that I need to, and balance the social life, and still put the dedication I need to with the program.
Well, Drake Anderson, thank you very much for the important role that you play at Florida State, and thank you for making us proud.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Florida State University Headlines. The FSU Alumni Association is a membership-based organization. If you or someone you know would like to become a member, the information at the bottom of the screen will be of help in that endeavor. That's going to do it for this edition of Florida State University Headlines. On behalf of the 280,000 FSU alumni around the world and one horse, I'm Scott Atwell. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.